DJ and PK brought to you in part by Trajan Wealth. Call Trajan Wealth today, your local trusted financial fiduciary. 801-899-7600 or visit the website at TrajanWealth.com. DJ and PK, we are joined now by Trevin Knell, BYU basketball senior guard. Trevin, good morning.
Good morning. How is everything?
It's going well for us, but it feels like a big week for you. Not the biggest week, but a pretty big week.
Yeah, it's awesome. We just got to Missouri, so it's fun to be here with all the guys. We're going to watch, Iowa State play Cincy in a little bit, and then head off to practice. So it's a jam-packed day, but it's awesome for sure.
This has been an incredible season that you've had to date for so many reasons, right? I don't recall anybody, we've been doing this a long time in this market, I don't recall any coach getting the type of run that Kevin Young had gotten, and then boom, getting players that are considered potentially lottery picks. It's like it was just amazing in the offseason, and then so we had such high expectations. And the team did okay, but it sputtered a little bit, and we know that the record being, 1-3 in conference, 2-4, 6-6. But since then, you really took off. And we were talking with Tim Lacombe, who coached college basketball and analyzes the Jazz for us. And one of the things, for me anyway, has been very evident is that everything is settled in to guys know what they're supposed to do when they get out on the court. And so there's been that familiarity and just the definition of roles. And if you were to define reasons or the singular reason as to why the team took off when it did several weeks back, what would you say?
Yeah, I think you hit it right on the head. A lot of people had really high expectations for us. And Coach Young always talks about how expectations are sometimes limiting. And so it just took time for us to gel. It took time for us to really get to know each other. And so right now, no one has an agenda. Everybody wants to win, especially once you get to postseason. Like, no stats matter at this point. Like, literally, all that matters is, surviving in advance. So that's something that's super unique. And then, when we did go through this kind of lull during conference play, we held a players-only meeting, and we just kind of talked about, what we want the season to be about. And we came to the conclusion of, 3 to 4 things that we really want to focus on throughout conference play. And so the first couple were play for your brother, have joy, be present, and then play harder than the guy in front of you. And so those 4 things have really helped us to, just go out there, leave everything out on the court, play for your brother. And then, when you have guys that, do that, we have a special season on our hands right now.
It catches my ear when you say, just win. Nobody has an agenda, because we played a bite from Dan Hurley, and he said it in a very measured, matter-of-fact way that he knew there were guys on his team that had already made contact with their next school, knew where they were going, and in some cases knew how much NIL money they were getting. Now, I know you're supposed to be focused, and the thing. Man, that says the focus is on next year, the focus is on this week, the focus is all over the place. But it sounds like that's not your experience.
Yeah, I think we are just very excited. When you start winning games, you start to realize, okay, this is what success looks like. This is what it takes to have success. And so the thing, our identity on this team is toughness, and every single day we're trying to stack days, we're trying to stack wins, and so we take no days off. It's really fun to come to the gym, have a tremendous amount of energy. This is the first team I've really been a part of in my career where towards the end of the season, usually guys are banged up, usually the energy is kind of low for practice, and that's not like us. That's not what we're about. And these last couple of practices have been our most high intensity, high energy practices that we've had all year, and it just shows how excited guys are to play for one another, and to go out there and show the world what we're about.
Stack days. That's a KY phrase. We've heard him say it, and you repeated it. So it's obvious the coach has influence. How much influence does he really have? Because it seems like he has a lot when you're repeating one of his favorite phrases. Yeah,
well, Coach Young is awesome. Me and Trey kind of talked about some things about him, and just he's very adaptable, he's very humble, and he's a competitor. Coach Young wants to win just as much as we do. And so, when things aren't going our way, or we're not playing up to what we think we should play up to, or what Coach Young thinks our potential is. He can get a little fiery, which is exactly what we need. And so, that's exactly what we're about. We're just trying to stack days, trying to stack practices, just stack wins. I think that's really helping us to, have this great season and help us through postseason as well.
Because on our end, we're just trying to stack pancakes.
That's what Jaeger's trying to do right now.
There you go. Nice.
Little carb loading right there. That never hurt anybody. You're playing 10 or 11 guys on that team. And that does set up a situation where, in some cases, guys would complain about minutes. Certainly that's happened. Now, it also sets up a situation where, to your point where you just brought up, play harder than the guy in front of you. There are times if you're playing 30, 35 minutes in a game, maybe you have to pace yourself. But if you're playing 16, 18, 20 minutes, does it enable you to change ends of the floor with a reckless abandon? Like, you don't have to save anything if you're averaging 16, 18 minutes a game. Does it change the pace the team plays at?
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I think a lot of teams, they like to play 5, 6, 7 guys. And so Coach Young always talks about, hey, if they want to do that, we'll bring in the cavalry. And so it's awesome to be able to, play as hard as you can for as long as you can, get subbed out, and then all of a sudden you're trying to be as loud as you can on the bench, trying to stay locked in. I think the turning point for us was the UCF game where we came out a little slow in the first half. And the second half we found our toughness. We found kind of the way we're going to play throughout the year. And then our bench energy is amazing. I think we have one of the best bench energies top to bottom in the entire country. So we're just super excited. We have joy for each other. And I think the perfect example of it is when Trey threw an alley-oop to Dallin, and his face before Dallin even dunked it was like the biggest smile. Jaeger's trying to do a weird flex at half court. It's just awesome. Everybody's excited and everybody wants to win. And so I think that's really what it comes down to is when you get the chance to play, you're going to play as hard as you can. And when you're not, you're going to be the biggest and loudest cheerleader for the team to be able to, prolong the season and make the season memorable.
If you have noodle arms, how do you flex?
Yeah, Ye's put on. We did a DEXA scan, and Ye's put on a couple of pounds of muscle, so he's definitely getting ready for postseason.
What's really interesting about this team is, and you can speak to this because you came in, the complexion, and I don't mean it, skin color is not where I'm going. I'm just talking about the variety of backgrounds that everybody had. When you came into the program, it wasn't near the level that it is now. You've got guys from all over the world. You got guys that traditionally wouldn't be BYU guys, but yet here they are. And from the BYU perspective, you're sort of a typical BYU player. Let's put it that way. You grew up here, did all those things, and made yourself down to got yourself down to Provo. So we're used to you. But how has it been just blending all these personalities? Because I got to imagine that's been kind of fun.
Yeah, it's been awesome. It's awesome to get to know, where guys are from, what the religious beliefs are. And just kind of like their backgrounds, how they grew up, what their path was to get here. It's super unique, and it's interesting. Like, I know exactly what you mean, but at the same time, like, the guys that we have, I feel like are perfect for BYU because, like, they want to be here. They love, like, what BYU is about, and, like, what we have in the locker room is a family. And I feel like in my career, I've had different seasons where we felt like this would be perfect for, BYU, and it ended up not being the season or the locker room that we wanted. So this year it's been fun. We have guys that play Super Smash Bros on the road. We have, guys that watch movies together, go on dates together. So, like, it's been awesome to be able to have a locker room that's like a legit family. And then, when we step on the court, you already have that chemistry. You already have that brotherhood to, like, run through a wall for each other, to have each other's back and play for each other.
How easy is that to build when, on the one hand, You graduated from high school in 2017.
Easy. Easy.
You're married. You're a returned missionary. You're mid-20s and over here. You've had a couple laughs here at the expense of Ego, right? But he is a teenager, right? So if he has noodle arms, well, just wait. 5 years of the weight room, he's going to look really different wherever he's playing hoops in 5 years. And so if he has a weird flex or he's stacking pancakes or whatever it is, how easy is it to build that? Because he really is at a different point in his life than you are in yours.
Yeah, it's completely different. And so it's been fun. Like, some guys on the team will call me the grandpa of the team or the dad of the team. But at the same time, it's a compliment. I feel like a lot of the guys on the team listen to me, and I've had the experience of, different seasons where it's gone well and different seasons where it hasn't. So a lot of the guys, respect kind of the vet status. But yeah, Ye's a tremendous person. It's fun to go on dates or something like that, and he'll make a joke like, dude, I'm literally 18. Like, but it's been awesome to be kind of a little bit of a mentor for him in his college career, and I'm excited for what the NBA is gonna bring to him. But yeah, he's gonna look like a whole different person. I'm excited. He might be able to beat me up in 5 years at the NBA program, but we'll see. We'll see about that.
How much do you focus? Did you listen to Kevin Young and his media availability? And he addresses it. He says, "Well, I know it's a cliche, but we're all about now." And I get it. You're going to have a big game coming up, and then depending on what happens, you'll have another big game. I mean, that's the nature of the Big 12. But everything is huge right now. And when I say right now, I'm including next week, obviously. And from that perspective, is it a challenge to stay in that moment that he preaches?
Yeah, it's always a challenge. Like, you always are like, oh, who are we going to play? Or, even right now, it's like, oh, do we play Iowa State? Do we play Cincy? If we win that, like, are we playing Houston? Are we playing, UCF? Like, there's always, different things. There's the what ifs, right? But the team has met with Craig Manning a ton just about staying present and how to stay present. And I think that's, another thing that's credits to our good season this year is, when we had those lulls and stuff like that, we still stayed present. We didn't think too far ahead of, oh, we got to do this to be able to get to where we are now. It was always, all right, let's just stack days, let's stack wins, and, take it day by day. So I think that's credit to, the boys on the team and taking what Craig Manning says, take what Coach says, and applying it.
Do you like watching games? Some guys really like that. Some guys cannot sit still, and they don't have the attention span, and they don't do it. They want to watch a minimal amount of video, and they want to play. Where do you fit on that spectrum, and how about the other guys on the team?
Yeah, like Coach Young actually said, he goes, hey, like before the season started, he was just saying how we should all watch the Big 12 game, get a feel for, the physicality of the season, how it's going to be. So it just reminds me of what Coach Young was saying, because he was saying a lot of players he's coached they don't like to watch games. Yeah, I enjoy watching games. I enjoy watching, especially the Big 12, just to see what other guys or the guys I'll be guarding or playing against, how they're doing and kind of their rhythm right now. I think that goes for every guy on the team. Richie's probably the only one that he doesn't like to sit still. He gets up and gets moving a ton. But that's probably because he's ready to run through a wall at any second with how hard he plays. But yeah, every guy, we're going to watch Iowa State and Cincinnati here in a second. So it'll be fun to be able to, watch a little bit of film, stretch out, get ready, and head to practice for today.
A lot of talk, obviously, on the pro model with Kevin Young, and the people that he brought in has some form of NBA experience one way or another. Since you've been there so long, what differences have you noticed that have been manifest by this new model that he's trying to do?
Yeah, it's like we had to relearn a whole different lingo. The language of different plays are all different than what, the guys on the team that were here last year, the years before. So it's definitely pro lingo first. And then it's been awesome to, Coach Young will run a play in practice, and it'll work every single time. And I'm like, oh, this is amazing. I get a 3-point shot every time. But, yeah, it's been awesome to be able to get coached by not only Coach Young and his, amazing offensive mindset, but also all the other coaches that are just super dialed in. Coach Will's a defensive mastermind, and he's helped us a ton with just ways we can, change the game up, change the momentum of the game. And then also you have Tim, who's offensive minded. You have JL, who's, won so many Defensive Player of the Year awards that it's helped us to be able to guard different guys one-on-one. And we have a ton of player development personnel. I can go down the list. So really appreciative of all the coaches and super excited for, every, different recruit that walks through here. Like, you're going to get the best of the best. If you want to go to the NBA, like, this place is, next to none. It's going to be the best place to go to be able to get to your career and prolong your career in the NBA.
Trevin, we appreciate the time. We know you got to go watch the game and head off to practice, but thanks for taking a few minutes to talk to all the Cougar fans out there. I know they appreciate it.
Of course. Hopefully we can get some Cougar fans out in Missouri and we can make some noise.
There you go. Thanks, Trevin.
Yep.
Trevin Knell, BYU senior guard, getting ready for the Big 12 tournament and then the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, what a time to be alive for those guys, man. This is a great time, and it'd be awesome if they still have a couple more weeks to go.
When we come back, we got a couple minutes to go. Your feedback next. Stay with us.